Off the Cuff E-zine, an online magazine that is given out freely. The wide range of promotional is unlimited. We take pride in bringing it all together for you. And we recognize that it is hard to reach a lot of people by just having a website, or even those writers that do not have the means to advertise or have a website. This website will provide its free services of advertising and giving others a platform to share their experiences, skills, and ability. For we believe that it is through others we learn not only of others but of ourselves as well. So, if you need a chat room to hold sessions, we can provide that with audio and video for classes, workshops, or just single sessions. Contact us to see what we can provide with our special features and promotional experience. And it is all free. Yes, free. Join us and meet other like-minded people, because that is what makes OTC the place to be. OffTheCuffE-zine.com.
Tonight my guest is Yvonne Alers, and she is a columnist of Off the Cuff E-zine, and she is also a fitness instructor. She also helps women in learning self-defense, and she's also a nutritionist or a nutrition consult too. Tonight she's going to be talking about healthy eating during our holidays. And so I would like to welcome Yvonne Alers. Hello, Yvonne.
Hi, Peg. How are you? Thank you so much for the honor of being on your show. I'm looking forward to an awesome evening.
I'm so glad that you're here. This is one way we get to talk to each other anyways, huh?
I know.
I just want to say to the audience that if they would like to call in, they can call in at 520-549-5149. And I'll be saying that a bit throughout the show. You also, I see that you also teach kickboxing and to women, and that you also teach aerobics, and you have you're a certified fitness instructor with the Aerobics and Fitness Association of America. That's pretty amazing.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
I think that's great. And you also work with young girls too, right? In helping them.
I work with children. I teach at a local Y, and I teach martial arts to children ranging from ages 3 and up.
Wow.
And it's a really, really nice opportunity to start them off young, start them really trying to empower them and teach them some positive self-esteem and self-confidence and self-respect. And I'm a firm believer that if we get them young and we really start to mold their beautiful minds, there isn't anything that they can't accomplish. There is anything they can't accomplish now, but with that kind of a training, it really just kind of teaches them to really push themselves and to reach for the stars.
That's fantastic. I have I have seen kids do martial arts, and I can see the confidence that they do have, and they seem to have like a special way about them, and that they're very respectful, because they are taught that through the martial arts too. Yes. Especially for young boys, who may not have that in their lives, and girls too, but I think that it really helps to mold the young boys too, I think, in some really positive ways. And you also work you also, well, I did say the self-defense instructor, RAD, rape, aggression, defense. So that's something that you basically do for women
Yes.
in the Boston area too. That's pretty cool.
Yes, I actually teach basic, advanced, and keychain, and I'm also a Rad Kit instructor. It's a great, great program. Rad for Women just really empowers women. It gives them the tools that they need should they ever be in a situation that they have the ability to defend themselves. And the beautiful thing about Rad is that there's a lifetime return in practice policy. So you can always go on the website, Rad Systems, and just kind of radsystems.com and just check out your local area where it's being offered, and just take the entire session for free once you've already, or takes just the simulation part of it. And it's just a really nice way to kind of keep women in kind of with that muscle memory, get them going to still be able to retain some of the techniques.
Yeah, that's really great. And it's so it's just one session, or are there several sessions at the Rad?
So it's actually a 12-hour program. And normally what we try and do is we might have it like one day a week for 3 hours for about a month, depending, or maybe 3-4 hour sessions. So it really, we try to cater to what fits the needs of the women in the area. And it's just a great program. I'm actually going to be teaching a keychain class coming up this week, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to be able to really empower these women and give them the tools they need. So I'm really psyched about it.
That's great. That sounds excellent.
Thank you.
Very good. And you're also certified in Reiki. Are you at the master level, or?
Yes,
you are?
Yes, I am. I am. It's funny to think of the word master, because I know for my Shihan teaching in the martial arts, he was always instructing us that we can never truly master anything. So for me, it's such a hard word to say master, but it's basically just the ability to be able to teach others, and also to, I'm really excited about being able to offer Reiki to others. It's such a beautiful, relaxing technique, and it just, given today's day and age and everything's so rushed and we're always so stressed out, it's just nice to be able to others, to give them that opportunity. And it's so beautiful, it's so loving, it's so gentle. I mean, it has added a whole different dimension to my life, and I find that it's been a beautiful part of my spiritual journey.
That's great. And you also took a class with Linda Howe this summer, or fall, I guess it was fall, to become a practitioner of the Akashic Records.
So I took the Manifesting Your Soul's Purpose through Linda Howe, but I took an Akashic Soul Mastery class with Nancy Smith that was being offered at the at Women of Wisdom. So I really, really love working with the Akashic Records. I mean, just and I'm always honored to be able to be given the opportunity to do readings for others. It's just such an honor for me to have someone say, hey, give me a reading on my Akashic Records, and to be able to see that person's beautiful journey. It's just amazing, and I'm always so humbled and honored by that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's a pretty amazing process, to receive the information too, and helping them to see that maybe some of the patterns they're dealing with in this life could have had to do with things that came in on their past life too.
Exactly.
And helping them to move on, from that, especially if it's something that's troubling or upsetting, So, but it's, I think, in understanding maybe the root of where it may have come from, I think it, in helping them to move on, I think that is very helpful.
Yes, and the ability to be able to tap into your past lives, soul conscious, just being able to, as you said, be able to get a glimpse of some of those things that could be the reason why you have these recurring patterns in your life. But what I absolutely love about the Akashic Records is it's it's such a beautiful, beautiful book, and it just captures your life in the most loving, kindest way. And I always find that what I enjoy the most is how empowering it is for others, and it gives them an opportunity to see how amazing they really are. Because oftentimes we get caught in the moment of certain things that are happening to us, but here are these records showing you how amazing you are and how you're doing the best that you can do, and how you can do a lot more. And that's what I love, leaving folks with those types of messages. It's just really nice. It's a great feeling.
It is. It really is. And you've been with us at Off the Cuff from the very beginning,
Yes.
with the E-zine, and we're going into our 3rd year, which is quite amazing. And we're glad that you're still with us and writing about your about your subject area, which we'll be going into in a few minutes. And then you spoke of a motto that you had, I can and I will, and I think that's an excellent motto for anyone. I remember when I was teaching many years ago, we had gone to a kindergarten workshop, and I think I went to some type of workshop that had to do with like self-empowerment for kids at that age. And I remember there was a like a poem or something, or like a little jingle of I can do it, yes I can do it, like nobody, something like that. And I remember sharing that with my class, and we like had a little skit on it. I can't remember it all, but I remember saying, I remember that motto and how we really helped to speak to them about that, but I think it's for anyone. I think it's for any adult too,
Absolutely.
because I think sometimes the adults don't think they can do it all either, or do what they truly want to do, or what they think they want to do, or so, and the I will is like, the power, the power phrase, I will do it, even if I think I can't do it. So I think that's really cool. I will.
And I actually tell my students all the time, it's the one thing we always start the class with, I can and I will. And during the class, during several times throughout the class, I make sure they say it when they're doing their push-ups, when they're doing sit-ups, when they're feeling a little tired. I tell them, okay, what's the motto? And we all say it together. And I tell them to whenever they're at home working on that tough spelling word, or trying to remember how to solve that math problem, to just constantly tell themselves that they can and they will, because I always want them to know that there isn't anything that limits them other than their own thoughts. And I don't want their thoughts to get in their own way. I want them to be able to know that there isn't anything that they can't do. And so when you start them off that young, I mean, it's just beautiful to be able to see the outcome. And as for us adults, it's never too late. I'm a firm believer that as long as we, like you said, have that motto of I can, I will, there isn't anything we can't do. We just need to get out of our own way. And oftentimes we do that a lot. We get in our way with our thoughts. We get in our way with kind of the doubting of ourselves. Oh, no, there is, like I say, that we are possible beings capable of just about anything. So
I agree. I totally agree. I thought we'd talk about the holidays and eating healthy. And when I hear that, it's like, well, that's kind of an oxymoron. But because I don't equate that, well, I do now. But in years past, and I think most people don't really equate the holidays with healthy eating, because you think of the parties, you think of, the cookies, all the, the desserts, the gifts that you get, the candy, and, goodness knows what. And I know for me over the years that between December 1st and January 1st would be the time when I would probably gain a lot of weight, because there were, especially when I was working, there were parties, there were kids' parties, there were gifts from parents that thought you needed to have Lindt chocolate truffles and, homemade cookies and homemade chocolate. Oh my goodness, and plus it was my birthday. So during that time, so it was like a kind of a feast for a whole month. And so now I've stopped eating birthday cake, and I don't bake too much. I bake a little bit, but not a lot. And I'm not working, so I'm not getting gifts from my parents, and my students' parents and stuff and things like that. So I guess I have calmed down a bit, and I find that the meals, like the Christmas meal, or that I'm not eating an incredible amount either, but I will have something sweet, and I think that that's okay. But I think that kind of happens to everyone in one way or another, and it doesn't have to be necessarily Christmas either. But so one of your questions was, do you suggest starting a weight loss program during the holidays? And I'm just wondering what you think about that.
A lot of folks will ask me that question, and people have to do what really works best for them. I think the holidays come once a year. I think it's a beautiful time of the year. It's a time when you spend it with family and loved ones. Oftentimes with family members you don't see often because they live out of state and they're not close to you. So rather than get so hung up and caught up on the, oh my gosh, I can't eat this, oh my gosh, I can't do that, oh my gosh, you're really stressing yourself out, and you're really getting yourself into the situation where I honestly believe you can have these things, but you can have them in moderation. I have a sweet tooth. I say this all the time. I love chocolate. I'm not afraid to admit it. I love chocolate. If I could have chocolate on anything, with the exception of vegetables, I would have it on it because I enjoy it so much. But I also listen to my body. I'm aware of what works for me and what doesn't. Maybe just 2 pieces of chocolate and I'm good, versus an entire bar where might not make me feel as good. So it's just really learning to be in tune with your body. And instead of restricting yourself from eating certain foods or kind of trying these fad diets, what you can work on is maintaining your current weight.
Yeah.
And just trying really hard on just kind of monitoring yourself. You can still have some of these things, and yes, you can eat healthy during the holidays. I know a lot of times we've been conditioned for so long to think, oh no, there's no way that I can eat healthy. It's the holidays, or it's this, it's that. Yes, you can. Don't limit yourself. Don't tell yourself you can't do something, because once you put that thought into your head, then it makes it much more challenging for you. And the holidays shouldn't be a challenging time. They should be a nice, enjoyable time for you, your loved ones. And yes, food is a big part of the holidays, but it's not the only part of the holidays. So it's just having that balance and being able to enjoy that sweet pie or that chocolate dessert that you enjoy, and still being able to have your fruits and vegetables, your smoothies, the other things that can keep you on the healthy track.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, you can, this is a time too, like when we start to begin to have hot chocolate, you can make hot chocolate in a way that is, not as sweet. There's, different ingredients you can use, sometimes making it homemade is better than buying,
Absolutely.
Swiss Miss or something. There's ways, and you can also substitute milk too if you don't want to use dairy, so
Exactly.
yeah. So you basically say just to be mindful what.
Be mindful and be realistic. I mean, really be realistic with yourself. If you think that starting a weight loss program during the holidays is going to put you in a really grumpy mood and resentful because you're missing out on your favorite foods, then don't do it. Wait till after the holidays. You know, again, it's once a year, and you really can have the best of both worlds, but it's just having that balance.
Yeah.
It's just being mindful of what's on your plate, but don't put that burden on yourself of saying, I actually know of two ladies who are currently dieting through the holidays, and they were talking to me about the challenges about what they were going to do for Thanksgiving, and they wish they hadn't started it, and they were giving themselves such a hard time over it. I said, listen, enjoy your time with your family.
Yeah.
Bring a dish.
Yeah.
Bring a dish and still enjoy some of the other things that you get to enjoy during this time of the year. And they came back and they said, "Oh my gosh, you were right." And it's not obviously, I wasn't trying to be right or wrong in that situation, but I wanted them to enjoy that time because I found that they were getting so caught up and hung up over the weight loss part of it and feeling like they were not following the diet properly, or being kind of cheating. And once you start throwing those words out there like cheating, then it defeats the whole purpose. And you really come down hard on yourself when you feel like you're cheating on something. So don't do it to yourself. Just just have that balance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if you're, I don't know, at a family thing, or if you're at, a party or something, holiday party, and that there's going to be, something that's on, sweets or some dessert, so it's just, instead of taking 3 desserts, maybe take 1 dessert, and really,
absolutely,
and just savor the goodness of the food,
Exactly. So, and I tell people, if there's one particular dessert that you enjoy the most, that it reminds you of your childhood, that your grandmother only makes it during this time of the year, then treat yourself to that. You can, the other desserts that they're always available all the time, then maybe you can skip out on those. You don't have to have them. But that one particular dessert that you love, enjoy it. And again, it's in moderation. You don't have to pile your plate. That one can really make a difference. You can still satisfy that sweetness and still not kind of beat yourself up over something that's saying the next day saying, I wish I hadn't done that, because then that's when it becomes problematic for yourself, because we tend to really beat ourselves up over food. And I always tell people, you have to really think about, and first and foremost, the most important thing that you have to look at when it comes to eating healthy is, what is your relationship with food? And how do you define yourself when it comes to food? Because so many times I have people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, Yvonne, I was so bad today. I had this, this, and this. And they'll tell me what they had. And they feel so bad about it. They feel guilty. And I tell them, okay, well, what are you going to do for the next meal? And it's sometimes you just have to just let it go and move on. Because if you constantly think of yourself as being a good person or a bad person when it comes to food, that's really developing an unhealthy relationship with food. And you know what? We shouldn't have to look at food that way, because at the end of the day, food is meant to nourish us. And that's how we should look at it. And, do we have our days when we're going to have something sweet? Absolutely. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I tell people all the time, if you've been used to, if you were brought up where sweets was huge, it's going to take you some time to wean it out. So you can do it slowly. You don't have to completely just give up and say that's it. Because then what happens is you binge. When you deprive your body of something it wants, it goes and it really goes overload, and then you have a lot more of it than you normally would. So just have it in moderation. Have that one piece, and that's it. And you're good. You really are good. Your body has an amazing way of letting us know enough is enough. We've had enough. The problem is that oftentimes we don't listen to our body.
Right. And also, I think, a lot of people have emotional eating. So if you're maybe around family and there may be some issues, that you may, it may be you really want to eat that, whatever. So it's, it's also, I think, being aware of those things and almost making a plan for yourself, like how you're going to deal with that, and, so, and that's something that, we can do, we can come up on our own, according to what we need, I know for myself this Thanksgiving, I found that I wasn't eating an incredible amount of food at all. We had our desserts. I had my one little dessert, and but we had a lot of vegetables, and we, a lot of healthy vegetables, and we had turkey, of course, but there was also some substitute things too, like a lentil loaf, because we have some vegan members in my family. So I found that to be very helpful, and it just, the binge was not on my mind at all this year. It was just to enjoy the company and to, eat some different things. So,
exactly. And fruits and vegetables are filling to begin with. So if you already add that to your plate, then you already have the balanced meal. It's just a matter of adding that other thing that you enjoy the most, and it's a complete meal. And you brought up a good point, Peg, about being an emotional eater. And I just want to touch base on that, because if you're an emotional eater and you're beating yourself up, and you have an unhealthy relationship with food, and you think of yourself as a bad person because you ate a certain way, then that's just going to trigger you eating even more, because emotionally you're upset. Yeah. So that's why I tell people, don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't be critical. You had that dessert. It's okay. It's sometimes we just got to give ourselves some slack, because we can be so hard on ourselves. And when food is not the thing you want to be hard on yourself about. You really want to have a good, healthy relationship with food.
And I think, the health coaches, the nutritionists, the dietitians are beginning to understand that, that to be really rigid, is really not all that good for you, and, also to find food that is good for you, individually, because I think that they're finding that we all have our own ways, we all have our own individual way of eating, and, and keeping ourselves healthy too. And to really find that, is, I think, really important. So I think that's important too, that especially if we are looking for some type of eating program, to find one that is best for you,
Exactly.
And and like I said, I think that's what's happening more these days.
In line with what you just said, Peg, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
Is that you're absolutely right, because each person's body is going to handle food differently. And so that's when you really need to listen to your body more and listen to your intuition. If something just doesn't feel right when it comes to food, then maybe that particular food may not be suitable for you.
Right.
For some folks, dairy just doesn't work for them, or eggs doesn't work for them. For some people, a vegan lifestyle is ideal, and for others it really isn't. So it's just being able to tune into yourself and really pay attention to what those triggers are. How do you feel after eating something? Do you feel really good? Health-wise, do you feel like, okay, I'm okay, or is your stomach hurting, or do you feel bloating, or do you feel other things that are happening? Then that might be kind of like a red flag for you to just kind of, okay, let me see, what is it about this food? And maybe I don't really need to have this in my life at this point, because our bodies change. So the reality is that what we may have been able to handle, maybe in college we can't handle anymore.
Right.
So it's just knowing your body and getting to really be able to listen and pay attention to those triggers.
Exactly. And I think I'm going to stop here for the time being. We're going to go into a break, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Hold on, and feel free to ask questions in the chat room too. Thank you. Okay, and we are back. Welcome back, Yvonne.
Thank you.
And I just had a thought. I said it to you when I think I was muted, so I don't think you could hear me. But I was thinking towards the end, if there's time, that you could just pick an angel card and just kind of share it with the audience afterwards, and I will do the same.
Okay.
Okay, just to kind of end things on an angelic level, too. So we were talking about the food, and I was wondering if there was anything else you wanted to add.
Yes, definitely. One of the main things that happens, as you know, when you go to an event that has one of those beautiful buffet tables that has everything that you could possibly want. And so I always tell folks that the best thing to do is just do a quick kind of walk through and take a look at everything that's there, and then kind of really pick what you ideally would like to have.
Right.
One or two items, and again, as I mentioned before, adding some fruits and vegetables, and walking away from the buffet table. That's huge, because oftentimes we stand there and we start talking to other folks, and um, while we're there, before we know it, we just start putting more food on our plate. And I remember as a child, my parents were constantly telling me, don't eat with your eyes, because it's just so easy to just put things on your plate. And you're hungry, you're kind of like, okay, I've got to eat this stuff. And then there's that guilt factor of, oh my goodness, I put all this stuff on my plate. I have to eat it now because I can't possibly throw it out and waste food. So what I tell folks is just put what you would ideally eat, and then that's fine. And once you walk away, I think that's huge. And also, it's really important that you eat until you're satisfied. There's no
Yeah.
need to overstuff yourself. Again,
Exactly.
this is kind of the whole listening to your body. There's that moment where your body's like, wow, this is really good. I enjoyed this meal. And then that's when it's time to stop. Not when you keep eating and then all of a sudden your stomach hurts or you're not feeling good. Then by that point you've kind of gone a little bit more than what your body could really handle. So it's just really making sure that you listen to yourself. And in those situations where you know that you're going to go to an event that might have a buffet, I love potlucks. And the reason I love
Yeah, I do
potlucks
too.
is because you get to bring something.
Yeah, and you can bring
Person.
something you like.
Exactly. Bring something you like, but most importantly, bring a healthy dish. And
Mhm.
that way you be the person that kind of gets others eating healthy along with you. And it just feels good when you bring something that you can enjoy, that others can enjoy, and it kind of keeps you on the right track. And always, as you said earlier, planning ahead is huge. If you can
Yeah.
plan ahead and get a sense of what ingredients or what things you should have in the refrigerator or kind of stocked in your pantry, it definitely makes the transition easier for you, so that when you do have those moments, you can just cook up something quick and easy, and something that you can take to work, something you can, however the situation is, and it just works best that way when you kind of
Yeah,
take charge.
no, yeah, I have found that, because then, I mean, I know when I've been really paying attention and I haven't planned ahead, like brought,
Mhm.
a piece of fruit for myself, or even my lunch, or, I get very upset, and I'll just get something because I'm so hungry.
Exactly. And
So
you get something that you probably wouldn't have enjoyed anyway, but you just kind of settle for it because it's there.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it's important um, for us to do that. Especially if we do have some kind of goal for ourselves. As
Mhm.
far as letting go of some of the weight, and just kind of letting go of some habits that we really want to begin to change.
Exactly.
So
And the important thing is that when you go to these events, or even when a lot of people tend to kind of skip meals or starve themselves so that they can enjoy everything there. So if you're already going there hungry, guess what? You're going to pile on that plate. You're going to have everything there. So maybe eat a light snack beforehand, and
yeah,
you'll see that it's going to curb your appetite. It really will help you be able to kind of make different choices when it comes to the food that you would be selecting, versus
uh,
kind of
it,
having some. It's like going grocery shopping when you're starving, and then you come home and you say, oh my goodness, I would normally never buy this, but you were starving, and then everything looks good at the grocery store when you're in that mode, right? So it's kind of the same thing. It's everything looks good at that moment because you haven't had something to eat beforehand.
right.
So even if you bring a smoothie with you, or bring something that just can kind of help take the edge off.
Yeah, definitely. And be mindful of, like the holiday meal or something. Be mindful of the time that
Right.
it's going to be served, because you may be, wanting to eat at, like have a lunch at, 1 o'clock, and the meal's
Right.
not until your second meal of the day may not be till 3 or 4. So,
Exactly.
preparing for that too, I think is important. Um,
And you brought up a good point with that, because for myself, I can't eat after 7:30, 8 o'clock. I just don't like it. It doesn't agree with me. And so for me, I tend to, if I know dinner is going to be served later elsewhere, then I'll definitely have something at home, and then maybe just stick to fruits and vegetables when I get there.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Okay, and so it's just a matter of being prepared and just being mindful of what the situation is that you're going to be having or going to. And what another one of your questions was that was about your martial arts and fitness, and I'm just wondering what inspired you to become a holistic professional.
It's funny because I look at my life and I say, my goodness, if someone had told me X amount of years ago that I would be a martial artist, I don't know if I would have believed it. But now, the idea of being a holistic professional is like, oh my goodness. So I feel that every part of my life is really that moment when you're just reaching for the stars and really just doing things that I probably wouldn't have thought of. And for me, the martial arts, it deals with the mind and body. The fitness deals with the body, but then you add the holistic professional piece to it, and that really covers the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, the physical. It covers all aspects, and I feel that that's such a beautiful way of empowering others and helping them be well-rounded in every aspect of their life. And I'm just so grateful to this beautiful journey that I've been on, and just the ability, the opportunities that have been presented to me to be able to do Reiki, and to be able to do the Akashic Records and be able to do all these things along with the martial arts and the fitness. I feel that it just has made me an unbelievable person, and much more. It has definitely tapped into different parts of my life, but it also is so nice when I can see what it does for others, and that's what makes it so beautiful. So it just seemed like a natural transition for me to go from the martial arts, self-defense, and fitness into the holistic professional side.
And it's also, it's a way of bringing complete balance,
Yes.
Body, mind, and spirit, and that's,
Exactly.
I find that, at least for myself, that there have been times in my life when one aspect has been missing, or it's not as strong as maybe another, and that is kind of, where I really need to become a little bit more balanced with that area. And, I know that, I equate that almost to, being in a kayak and, keeping the balance, of the kayak, and kind of the same thing as, keeping the balance, the three-way balance in your life too.
Exactly.
Body, mind, and spirit.
Right.
So, so if you had a choice, and you could have a full career in one of these, which do you think it would be, or would it be just what you're doing now? If if you could focus on just one thing, or would you just want to continue to do what you're doing?
So I'm sorry. As I was saying, I definitely, for me, I really enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy all the aspects of it. I wouldn't change anything. I definitely do enjoy what the holistic professional side of things has brought to my life. And I'm very excited to be able to expand in that more in that area. And I love working with the Akashic Records. So those are beautiful additions into my life. But I do love working with women. I love working with children. Again, no slight to the men. I have no, but it's just that that's where my life has taken me. It has been teaching children, and teaching children the martial arts, and teaching women through Rad.
Yeah, that's,
So I definitely would not change anything. If anything, I'd love to be able to do it full time.
yeah, exactly. And that, that could happen maybe sometime, in the future, You know, you just never know
Right.
what can occur, you know.
Exactly.
So, um,
Everything happens for a reason. So I have a lot of faith that things will work out so that I am able to do those things on a full-time basis.
yep,
So,
yep. And, you know, you have a lot of time to, you know, get that figured out too. So that's pretty cool too, to know exactly now what you want, and, you know, and how you can focus to get that, you know,
right,
in the way that you truly want it. I mean, I think you're happy now, but, you know, you just never know.
exactly.
So I am not in the chat room, and I don't know if there are any questions. Um, so if Sprinkles could let me know, that would be great, because I'm afraid of the sound coming
Okay.
up again. So hopefully she'll let me know that.
Okay.
Yep.
There is a question from Sprinkles. She says, if we worked at exercising and cheat while we eat, will that help maintain my weight?
So do you want me to type out the answer or?
No, I
Just
think
okay.
speak it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. You know, definitely exercising is a big part as well. And you know, I always tell folks, if you're not someone that exercises regularly, then start off slowly. And the word cheat again, I try and stay away from those words like cheating or bad or because it just, in my opinion, I really think it kind of sets you up in that mindset that you can't do it and that you're going to fail. I think that as long as you set the intention and you have a goal in mind and you incorporate exercising and you have well-balanced meals, yes, I do think that you can maintain your weight. I do.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. I know for me, exercise just it's not into my daily schedule yet.
But there are other things that you do in your life where you are moving. You're walking, you're either if someone's gardening, if someone's walking, if someone's doing anything, we underestimate moving around and
Yeah.
being able to do these things. It's exercise. It's some type of moving. It's when we tend to just kind of come home and maybe, you know, sit in front of the TV for X amount of hours. But if you're someone that happens to live, like in my case, I live on the third floor apartment and I'm running up and down the stairs from the third floor to the basement, guess what? I'm exercising.
Oh yeah, no,
You know, so
definitely.
you're
Yeah.
definitely doing something. And anything that you do, I'm a firm believer that will help. It's just, and you know what, also get yourself some other folks with you and start up a walking group, and then that way you have someone to walk with, and just kind of, that's another way of being able to get a support system going so that you are able to maintain the weight. And you know, some folks really love a nice walk on a brisk evening, you know, just something about walking in the cold perks you up, you know, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and if it's really cold like it is for us New Englanders, guess what? We'll be power walking
Really
because we want
fast.
to get
Yeah.
home a lot
Yeah.
quicker. So there are so many things that we can add to our lifestyles to be able to be fit. And I'm a firm believer in that. It's just, again, it's how do you define fitness and how do you define exercise for yourself. Some folks don't want to do a boot camp, and that's okay. They don't have to, but there's other things that they can do to be able to get that exercise in.
You know, sometimes, and I've read this in different articles, that, you know, just stretching every morning, you know,
Absolutely.
like before you begin your morning, just do some stretches, you know, in different areas of your body, and just, you know, kind of like do kind of that deep breathing too, to kind of get the, you know, your body moving. And
Right.
it's a really good way to kind of get your day started too. You know,
Right.
it kind of perks you up and kind of, just kind of wakes you up a little bit more. And some other things is like if you're at the store, park your car further away than where you usually park it. And that, that can give you some walking time too. And I try to do that most times, unless it's a freezing cold, rainy day like it is today.
Or if you do happen to, if you park closer, if it's during the daytime, definitely park further away if you want that walk. But I always tell folks that if they're a shopaholic and they know that they're going to be at a store pretty late at night, then definitely park closer and get the walk as much as you can in the store, because you will be going back and forth to several stores, and you're still fitting in that exercise part of it. So there is so much that we can do in our lives to be able to add that in, and also incorporating smoothies or juicing to kind of also help, and it really does increase your energy and makes you feel good. So those are other things that you can do as well.
Yes, no, that's really important too, I think. So before we go, I wanted to ask about like if people were interested in getting an Akashic record reading from you, what they can do to find you, or to set up something.
They can definitely reach out to me at aloveforhealing@gmail.com, or they can call me at 857-301-9333, and notice the 3 3s there, Peg.
Yeah, very cool.
I thought that was kind of neat. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love my number.
Okay. And do you also offer angel readings too?
I do offer the angel readings. So it really depends on whether the person wants holistic professional services, Akashic Records, or angel card readings.
Okay, very good.
And then the fitness and nutrition side, that's where they would go to the Fit to Defend, defend@gmail.com. I like keeping both of them separate so that when I receive things, I know I'm just one of those organizational folks. I need to keep everything in compartments. So it's what works best for me.
Very good. Very good. Okay. And I thank you so much for being on. And I look forward to your article that will be coming out tomorrow, or maybe even tonight.
Yay! So the article is what the holiday season means to you, so I'm really excited about it.
Oh, great. And I just want to thank everyone for being on tonight. I am going to be doing a class in Beverly, Mass. At 186 Cabot Street on December 12th, and it's working with Archangel Gabriel in helping us to deal with the holidays if there's stress, or and he also helps us with our creativity too. So through some meditation and through some sharing and use of Archangel Gabriel's oracle cards, and doing also a creative activity, we'll be meeting on that night and having that event. And last month I did it with Archangel Raphael, kind of the same premise of helping us in dealing with the stress of the holidays. And I found it to be a lot of fun too. So I'm going to be doing that on the 12th, and that was going to be at 186 downstairs, 186 Cabot Street in Beverly, Mass. And I also am going to, and it's going to be coming out soon, I'm going to be having gift certificates for my 12-month reading, and also people are able to sign up for that too. And also all that I offer will you can get gift certificates for too. So,
and I just want to say real quick, that is actually how Peg and I met. For those of you interested, it's a great it's a great way to be able to tap into what the angels have to say to you. And Peg, thank you so much, because that's how our beautiful journey began. And I'm so thankful to be able to have this opportunity to submit articles to Off the Cuff E-zine, to be able to have these beautiful opportunities with you, Sprinkles, and the others. And I'm just, what a beautiful, beautiful spiritual path it has been for me. And you've been a part of it. So thank you.
oh, thank you. And you know, it's what I love to do. So that's what I'm doing. And I wish everyone to have a great evening and a great week. And next week we will be having Andrew D on the show. And so thank you again, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Do you like angels? Would you like to know about angels? Then join Peg Jones on OTCR's Wednesday's Whispers. Peg will guide you to just a glimpse of heaven through her knowledge of angels. Join Peg Jones for Wednesday's Whispers, only on